In October 2013, a missing person report shook a neighborhood in America. Kelly Dwyer, a 27-year-old who was someone's daughter, friend, and neighbor, had vanished without a trace. Missing person flyers with her photo began appearing one by one on city streets. The news reported daily updates on the search for her whereabouts, and the once peaceful east side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was now filled with anxiety and uncertainty. Her phone was turned off, her social media activity had ceased, and there was no movement in her bank accounts. It was as if her existence had been completely erased from the world. Who was the last person to see her? Why did she disappear? And what happened that night? Kelly Dwyer's disappearance held a darker reality beyond a simple missing person case. Kelly had moved to Milwaukee in 2008 and was building her own life after graduating college. She worked as a sales associate at a sporting goods store, while also working as a nanny, driven by her love for children. Her colleagues remembered her as someone special. She always greeted people with an inclusive smile and showed genuine interest in everyone. Particularly in her favorite yoga classes, she would greet everyone with warm hugs and participate enthusiastically. At the sporting goods store, she developed close, family-like relationships with her co-workers. On Thursday, October 10, 2013, Kelly's last day began normally. That evening, she had a date with Chris Zacco, whom she had been seeing for about a year. They met at a popular bar in Milwaukee. This was a cozy bar near Chris's apartment, a place Kelly and Chris frequently visited. That night, they unexpectedly ran into Kelly's friend, Chanel Royston, at the bar. Kelly was chatting energetically as usual, sharing her plans for the next day with Chanel. She said she wanted to spend her day off leisurely, doing yoga in the morning and catching up on laundry. They even bought pizza nearby and shared it, having a good time together. However, something ominous hung in the air that night. Around 2 a.m., when Kelly and Chris were leaving the bar, Chanel said she felt something was off. Chris and Kelly invited Chanel to Chris's apartment, but Chanel had an instinctive feeling that she shouldn't be there, and quickly left. That would be the last time anyone saw Kelly. On Saturday, October 12, 2013, when Kelly didn't show up for work, her colleagues at the sporting goods store immediately sensed something was wrong. Kelly had always been a very reliable employee, and she never let go of her phone. She was very active on social media and always quick to respond to text messages. But that day was different in every way. When colleagues called Kelly's phone, it went straight to voicemail. All her social media accounts had gone silent with no new posts or even likes, activities she regularly engaged in. Moreover, all bank account activity had completely ceased. It was as if Kelly's time in the world had completely stopped. Milwaukee was turned upside down when the missing person report was filed. Local residents voluntarily began creating and distributing missing person flyers, and local news covered Kelly's story extensively. Every time her bright smile appeared on the news, viewers were gripped by fear and worry, thinking, "This could happen to our daughters, sisters, or friends." The Milwaukee police immediately launched an investigation. The investigation team began tracking Kelly's last known movements. Kelly's friends stated that she had been meeting new people through various dating sites, which broadened the scope of the investigation. However, all clues led to Chris Zacco's apartment that night. Police obtained surveillance camera footage from the building and found the last moment Kelly was seen. Around 2 a.m., there was clear footage of Kelly and Chris entering the apartment together. However, there was no footage of Kelly ever leaving the building. District Attorney Sarah Hill sensed something unusual about this case. In the digital age, it was extremely rare for someone to disappear so completely without leaving any trace. The simultaneous cessation of all electronic activity and the lack of witnesses raised suspicions that this might be more than just a disappearance. As the investigation progressed, Chris Zacco's past and present began to be scrutinized in detail. According to his mother, Joyce Fry, Chris was an active child who loved sports from an early age. He showed particular talent in golf, with his grandfather putting a golf club in his hands at age 3. Chris studied international business at the prestigious Boston University. After graduation, he fulfilled his dream of working with the New York Yankees IT team at Yankee Stadium. However, in 2009 he moved to Milwaukee seeking new opportunities and successfully continued his career as a Chief Information Officer, CIO, at a corporation. The investigator in charge said he could easily understand why Kelly would date Chris. He explained that Chris had good education, was intelligent, had a high-paying job, a nice car, and owned the best condo in the neighborhood. However, their relationship was very imbalanced. While Kelly's friend said she had deep feelings for Chris, he defined their relationship as purely physical. Moreover, the investigation revealed that Chris had been dating another woman, Megan, for over 3 years. The major turning point in the investigation came during Chris's first interview. Surprisingly, Chris was forthcoming about the events of that last night. He stated that he and Kelly had done cocaine and drunk alcohol together, had sex, and then fell asleep on opposite ends of the sofa. He claimed Kelly left around 9 a.m. the next morning. However, while the investigator was talking with Chris, a text message came from another investigator. "She never came out." After checking all surveillance cameras in the building, there was no footage of Kelly leaving. Based on Chris's drug use confession, police obtained a warrant to search his apartment. Various types of drugs were discovered during the search. But more shocking discoveries came from his phone. A video taken 3 weeks before the disappearance showed Kelly experiencing breathing difficulties, and several photos showed her apparently unconscious on the bed. The bathroom search revealed more suspicious findings. The shower curtain was torn, and the curtain rings were bent. Chris's girlfriend Megan also testified that the bathroom mat and decorative towels that should have been there were all missing. Molly, a cadaver dog, provided crucial evidence in this investigation, detecting human remains scent in several locations, including Chris's apartment and vehicle. First, Molly showed strong reactions inside Chris's apartment. She detected decomposition odor near the apartment entrance, suggesting Kelly may have died inside the apartment. There were also alerts in the guest bedroom and bathroom, with the torn shower curtain possibly used as a crime tool. The strongest alert came from the master bedroom bed. This supported the possibility that Kelly Dwyer died on the bed. Molly also reacted outside the apartment building, detecting decomposition scent near the 18th floor corridor and garbage disposal room, suggesting a body may have been moved through this route. Additionally, in the underground parking garage, Molly detected decomposition odor on Chris's car handles, trunk door exterior, and trunk interior, indicating Kelly's body had been in the trunk. Based on Molly's findings, police theorized Kelly died in the apartment and her body was moved from bed to bathroom to vehicle. These detection results played a crucial role in reconstructing the case, despite the lack of direct physical evidence. Chris's activities the day after the disappearance were even more suspicious. At 10:08 a.m., surveillance cameras captured him standing next to his car's driver's side, and at this time, Kelly's phone completely powered off. 16 minutes later, when he returned to the parking garage, a silver object was visible on his car trunk, matching a golf bag that investigators noted was missing during the apartment search. Over the next 8 hours, Chris made several trips carrying items to his car, finally leaving the apartment parking garage at 6:16 p.m. When questioned, he claimed he went to his mother's house to drop off summer sports equipment, but the suspicious golf bag was never found. Moreover, he was tracked driving about 80 miles away, supposedly to buy cheese. Investigators suspected this was a cover for scouting locations to dispose of the body. 1.5 years after Kelly's disappearance, there was a shocking discovery. On a rural road 45 miles west of Milwaukee, a man walking found something strange among trees. Shockingly, the white object reflecting sunlight was a human skull. Investigators confirmed through dental records in 6 days that these were Kelly's remains. The location was just 6 miles from the highway. While the body's condition made it impossible to determine the exact cause of death, investigators noted the peculiar position of the remains. The legs were twisted, and the left arm was bent behind the back, suggesting the body had been forced into a narrow container. Investigators believed this position matched how a body might fit into a golf travel bag. By this time, Chris was already serving a 19-year sentence for possession of illegal child sexual content and drug charges. However, after Kelly's remains were found, prosecutors gathered stronger evidence for new charges. 5 years later, in 2018, Chris faced new charges of first-degree reckless homicide, hiding a corpse, and strangulation. Chris's defense team argued for innocence based on the lack of direct physical evidence. They emphasized that no DNA, fingerprints, or blood evidence was found, and even the cause of death remained undetermined. They also pointed out there were no eyewitnesses to the crime, and no surveillance footage of Kelly leaving the building, criticizing the investigation's limitations and bias. The defense suggested Kelly might have left the building through another route. They argued the investigation was biased by focusing solely on Chris, without considering all possibilities. They also questioned the reliability of the cadaver dog's findings due to lack of video documentation, and argued the videos on Chris's phone showed consensual acts. The prosecution, however, maintained that Chris was directly responsible for Kelly's death. They emphasized that surveillance footage only showed Kelly entering the apartment, never leaving. They cited the cadaver dog's detection of decomposition odor in Chris's apartment and car trunk, along with his suspicious behavior and movements after the incident, as circumstantial evidence of guilt. They interpreted the videos found on Chris's phone as evidence of violent and dangerous sexual behavior. In the final ruling, the judge weighed the circumstantial evidence and Chris's suspicious behavior as key factors. Despite the lack of direct physical evidence, the judge found that the circumstantial evidence formed a compelling chain supporting Chris's guilt. Chris's nervous behavior after Kelly's disappearance and his movements suggesting body disposal attempts were interpreted as intentional actions to cover up a crime. Finally, Chris was found guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, hiding a corpse, and strangulation/suffocation charges, receiving an additional 31-year sentence on top of his existing 19 years, totaling 50 years. The judge clearly stated that Chris's intentional and irresponsible actions led to Kelly's death. This was the story of Kelly, who became the tragic protagonist in a tale of truth and concealment after maintaining a relationship with Chris, attracted by his education and financial stability while he lived a double life.